I think she meant to say recording in progress. So let me welcome you to the June 11th Ralph County Electoral Board meeting. And I note the presence of all the electoral board members as well as a host of other people. So we'll continue on. First order of business is the approval of the final agenda. We've got a draft agenda. Everyone has a chance to look at it. Changes to that agenda?
No, I did have a question for our counselor, but I can do that under wherever. One quick question.
Okay. All right.
I did. I haven't.
Very good. Then I'll take this agenda as approved. And we'll move on. Brief announcements from the board and registrar. So the registrar probably has some office staff changes that she would like to announce.
So we hired a new chief deputy. His name is Richard Spike. He's here. You're so excellent.
Hello, Richard.
And I'm not sure everybody has met Andrea. I'm told she is the senior assistant registrar.
Could you speak up, please?
Yes. So you've met Andrea, and I'm not sure that you've met Richard. So.
That's it?
That's it.
You don't want them to say anything for themselves?
Thrilled to be here.
Right on. Tough act to follow, Andrea.
It's very tough to follow. I'm here for a while already, so thank you for having me.
So somewhat less thrilled is what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
Any other or from the registrar for that matter?
Andre, your last name is T-O-L-K, right? That's what it's called.
Now we have the opportunity for public comment. If there's anyone who'd like to, wow, this young man had his hand up first.
Following on what the registrar just introduced us to, is registrar staff now at full staff?
We are not. Now we have our elections manager, Alex Branch, he resigned and he's moved on to be the registrar in Waynesboro County. And so
Or city.
I'm sorry, Waynesboro City, sorry. And then so that position is open and we've already posted that. And then I've reposted the utility assistant registrar's position also. So, and again, I've gotten several applications for. We just posted those last Friday, not quite a week ago.
I have a second question.
A follow-up, okay.
Different subject. What's the status of the state reimbursement for the special election?
We did that already. The deadline for that was the 9th of this week. So you're right on target here. And so what we did was we reimbursed. I'll have to get the exact number. I started with a certain number. We ended up with a different number after talking with the finance group. So what main portions that we included were postage. What we included were things that were very clear. So if we were audited, we would be able to
Printing ballots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Printing ballots, postage, the cost of the election officials on election day. Early voting was a little bit more nebulous, those kinds of things. But I'll have that. I want to make sure I have the right number and then I'll have that.
And realistically, you're expecting to get only a tiny fraction of that back, right? Yeah.
Right. I'm not sure. It's probably a little over 100,000 that we put in. So I'm not sure how much we'll get back.
In response to his first question, wasn't that utility position advertised back in December?
It was. I interviewed about 10 people and didn't find one. So, sorry.
Rick?
Yeah, just with the reorganization, just a quick question on Andrea's position. What is it? Because is it the same that we had before, or is it a new position?
I don't know what you had before. This position was not filled. I'm not sure that this position was filled before. I'm not sure.
Senior registrar.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So that means she has some for the main staff, the other assistant registrar, she's senior over all of the other assistant registrars. There are 4 others, so she's senior over that, and then Richard and then myself.
Okay, thank you.
To do her job responsibilities change, or she's
Changed from
what she was
what they
doing
were before.
before the
Before the
staff title?
No, but she's doing a lot more. And doing it full.
So yes, it did
And
change.
doing it full time, doing it full time.
Upgraded me.
You are full-time now.
So she's actually.
Full-time to January.
So who will be leading early voting? Who will be responsible for early voting, the process?
The whole office is, but me in general, but the entire office is. We're not, it's not just gonna be
It's
one
not
person.
separate, okay.
No. But we have more people to actually be in there than we did early voting. Oh, sorry, and then Diane's hands.
Oh, I couldn't see you over there, behind Jim.
I'm in the corner. Diane McNeil, do you have an organizational chart to that? Cause it is confusing.
I do have I know that I do have one. I gave one to HR, but I can produce it. Maybe I'll put HR.
That would be great. Or do you think so what will you do? Will you bring it to a meeting? Will you post it? What do you think?
I can bring it, what do you guys, I can bring it to the next meeting, but that's a long time. But
I'm
if
good
you,
with that.
is that okay? I can do that.
Great. Any other? Dr. Wheeler?
Thank you. Good morning, Clarabelle Wheeler. Follow up on his excellent question on reimbursement and with this election, with the special election cost. Did you not submit cost for the 45 days of in-person absentee? And for the cost of, you said mailing, but did that include the additional staff, offices of election to package and actually get the ballots ready to mail out? I know there was a lot of activity with that.
It included some part-time work, but part of it was not recorded. So, I mean, was not recorded in a way that we were comfortable reporting those numbers. So we're just not gonna report the numbers if we can't prove them. So that's what our stance had to be.
I'm confused.
Well, that's.
Do you not know what you paid for the registrar's assistants who worked 45 various days, part-time shifts, et cetera, in 45 days of in-person absentee voting? I know there are a lot of people who actually worked, hopefully got paid.
But some of them didn't just work early voting. Some of them did other things that we did not reimburse for. So it was very hard to parse out single dollar that somebody that was only early voting versus not only early voting. That was difficult and it was not well reported. So what we're going to do, we talked about this at length. And so what we're going to do next time is we're going to make sure that our reports come out of ADP and not out of staff generated things.
Your previous estimate was about $140,000 had been spent on this, and it sounds like you submitted for 100,000. So
yeah, so it's pretty
70%.
Yeah, it was pretty good, but we just could not submit for what we couldn't prove, especially systematically. So would pay and what we couldn't clearly prove. Let's put it that way.
With much anticipation to see how much you get.
Exactly. So did you have a follow-up? Sounds like you do.
I do have another question
Yes.
for Ms. McNeil's question. Could you put the staff maybe on the website so that the general public will know who's working and what they do if they have a question?
Sure.
That might help the public.
Yes.
Yeah, if I understand it right, reimbursement, you don't expect to get a very large percentage of which you turn in reimbursed. So trying to turn in everything would be irrelevant. Is that?
It's not irrelevant. It's just,
But you won't get it
we're only
back.
going to get a percentage back, and you want to have hard numbers that you can certainly withstand any kind of audit. I believe the state included $5 million in its allocation statewide, so that wasn't going to cover Fairfax.
If we had submitted everything, that would have been 234,000.
Oh, so your number went up from the last
Yes.
one we were.
Yeah, it's 234,000 for the election.
Could you say that again slowly?
234, just over 234,000.
For this special election.
Correct.
Thank you.
All right, any further questions? Then let us move on. We've got some minutes to approve. Jim, over to you.
I move approval first of the April 9th minutes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Approved.
Approving them, I wish I could get it all on one page.
better to be complete than short.
And then we have the April 21st through 27th. This is all the canvas and provisional ballot meetings.
I had listed those on the agenda as two separate things, but they're actually incorporated into one document.
Move approval of these.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none.
I'm not sure who I'm giving them to. Guess I'm giving them to Richard. And then we have the May 14th minutes.
Our last regular meeting.
Move approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. They are approved. Very good. Thank you, sir. Election Office Accounting Report.
We did most of that, so.
Sounds like it.
Exactly. So if there's any other questions, because I was gonna cover the reimbursement.
No, expense list is sheet for us today.
It's the same as the last one. The reason being is I haven't started calculating the expenses for this report yet, for this particular election. So they're pretty much the same as last time.
No, I meant looking at your sort of your monthly county outlay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't do that.
If you could send that around to us, that'd be great.
I can.
Thank you. Any questions on that before we move on? Okay. Review and disposition of old board materials in warehouse. We're gonna make this squarely Alex's mistake. Because he's not here to defend himself.
He's up there somewhere where he was. I hope he's up there.
I can say that it hasn't changed. They're
I know where the box is.
exactly in the same place.
I know where the box is.
Perhaps tomorrow you can just have a gander at it to
Mhm.
see where we are.
We
Okay,
add an EX onto that too.
I'm sorry.
Boxes.
Boxes? I thought there was only one.
So that perhaps is wishful thinking.
Mm.
Word materials has that plural feel to it too.
Okay.
All right, the schedule for the primary. What's going on?
Yeah, so I want to preface, I have this electronically. I think everybody, I'm not sure I heard from Jim. that,
Same thing as this, right?
Yeah, that's, oh, you printed
You
it out.
printed it.
Yeah, I shared it electronically.
Yeah,
Everybody can
that's
see it, second when I update it. So, the questions that I had for the board is, they are in July. I put down tentatively, I'm sorry, twice, you can see it on here. The chiefs and assistant chiefs training on Thursday, the 16th. I'm not sure, I was trying to get it close enough to the election, but not in the middle of LNA testing. So you have to let me know when,
Thursday the 16th works for me.
does it, okay, good.
Does it work for you guys?
That's from your.
Okay, that's right. Okay, and then in my notes, I wasn't quite clear. Do we also want a poll pad training for election day? We have one set up for early vote. Or do we want that for election?
I think we want to have at least one session of that because they're going to have the primary, no primary, D or R question that everyone has to deal with. And the folks in Free Union have the, D, R, fifth or seventh, which will come up automatically. But if they need to know how to deal with folks who turn up, for the Democratic primary in the 7th congressional district, there is none.
Right. That's what I tell them.
There's a tiny fraction of voters who don't have a vote.
Primary.
49 actually, right?
49.
It's
Yeah, but
49.
of those, the ones that show up for the Democratic primary, they're out of luck. We don't have a ballot for them. Just
So-
hide.
Gosh, goodness. I was looking to do that on the 14th, Tuesday, the 14th. Same.
Sure.
What was it now? The poll pad training for election.
And are we going to do a newbie training?
I thought
Yes,
so.
we are. But
Um,
that's usually like the Saturday before.
yes, well, the Saturday before, it's usually further back than that. I was looking at the first. The last
Videos of
July.
July. Oh, those are close.
I know that was too close.
Okay. You got to pencil in on the 29th.
Yeah, we moved the case checks to the 29th, so. To the 30th.
No, I've got case checks on the 28th.
There's two things. That's my case check on the
That's-
28th. The board's case checks on the 29th.
And what I have here is not right.
Oh, then you might print it early. Here, I have this.
Case checks, electoral board 28.
Here, this is one I printed out. That's good.
So that's now on the 20th.
On the 30th, we have the music trainings.
Maybe training still in the evening, I assume.
Yes.
Thought the blast that went out from the county telling everyone about the early voting schedule.
Yes, yes.
That looked good. I trust you had a chance to review it before they sent it.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
It was an email blast is what they call it, where they send email out to half the county who signed up for it.
Yes. And it was for folks who have signed up for that, it was all about the election. The election day, it would had all the deadlines listed. We talked about the construction and there as well, for asking people to be careful about that. So it was very similar to the one we did last time, but we presented it differently, so it's easier to read.
Liz has
I received those, and I had one concern, which was they said early voting is open from June 18th through whenever it ends. It didn't say that we weren't going to be open on the 19th.
I think it was at the bottom of that section, should have been in there, because in our proof, because I understand what you're saying, because we were
Yeah.
very clear about that.
That was a
Concerned
question.
about that.
I think
Is
they
it-
might have missed, or I missed it.
Is
Let me,
it-
I've got it right here. Let me
Yeah,
check and
if you
see,
can
because
check.
I looked really closely thinking that you guys are gonna have a lot of people, oh, you won't even be here, because you were on vacation or, a lot of people are gonna be showing up on that Friday.
Yeah, we're gonna
It's
have
my
a-
biggest concern.
We're gonna have a sign on that door. And
Yeah, just a quick look at it. I don't see anything that says the 19th.
Okay.
It's not.
so then I will ask
Oh,
them.
with mentioning in the 19th is people will just see it and go, oh, the 19th, and think they can vote then too.
Something about the county office buildings were gonna be closed the 19th, but it did
Right.
not say there would be no voting.
So we'll make that clear. So, June 19th. There.
Can you repeat the date for the chief and assistant chief training?
Absolutely.
July
Uh,
16th, July 16th.
July 16th. OPS 15.
It's the 14th. I do want to mention a couple of other things about. the
Yes,
election.
please.
Thank you for mentioning.
Yeah,
Appreciate that. Thank you.
I thought about sending you a note, but
Yeah,
I
thank-
forgot.
Thank you for that. So just want to reiterate, so we will be in room A. And the office will have a presence also. We're changing it a little bit so that the chief can see curbside voting. So we're gonna move it on the other side. We want the chief to see the whole.
Look out.
Absolutely.
As opposed to having people sneak up behind them.
Correct, exactly. So that's gonna be just the big change there, just the look of the room. So we'll be setting it up, probably the night before. There's an event in that room, the day before. So we'll just be setting up at night. So I just want to remind folks about that. I also want to mention just a couple of numbers, about early voting. We have, okay, so for the number of mail-in absentee for the Democratic Party, we have 4,853. For the Republican Party, we have 944. So we are working on putting those ballots together now. We're actually about a third of the way through this afternoon. Terrific job. Terrific job. So
don't like mail voting.
yeah, so we'll see what happens during in person, what that looks like. The other thing I wanted to mention is these numbers here. I always put these out for as far as our.
Can I interject something?
Yes, absolutely.
To that point, Jim, you might possibly otherwise infer that a lot of the folks who would get Republican ballots simply didn't want to indicate which kind of ballot they wanted to get, because we do usually send out far more
Yes.
absentee ballots than that.
So that'll be interesting to see that part. I also want to mention too that, oh, the ballots. So, we have the folded ballots and we had 11,000 of them. The reason it's so many is because they come in packs of 100. So even in some precincts where there's only 4 people, and that's true, I have to order 100. If there's 18, I have to order 100. So that's why that number is higher. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna echo.
So I need to talk louder. I'm sorry. So I was talking about the ballots. We have we ordered 11,000 ballots. The reason the number was so high is because even if you have only 4 people in a precinct right now registered to get a ballot, you have to order 100 for that precinct because you can't just order 4. So there are a lot of precincts that are like that where I had to round up. And sometimes it was rounding up 100, sometimes it was rounding up a little bit more than 100 because they might be at 292. And I probably, rather than 300, I would order more.
Because you'll get more requests.
Correct. So that's
So you ordered 11,000 folded ballots.
correct. 11,000.
61 different categories to pick from.
Yeah.
So you start out with 6,100 before you've even added a second packet to each one.
Yes. What Bucky is saying is we have 61 ballot styles because we have 31 ballots for the Republican primary because there's a split in 602. Some people vote the 5th and some people vote the 7th. And then in the Democratic primary, there are only 30. So we have 61 ballot styles. And for people who are not aware, those are considered 2 completely separate elections. So, and that's how they're set up. So that's why there's so many ballot styles and so many ballots. So also to mention for the thumb drives, just right quick, change something with those. I got all the media done for all the way through November. So they've set us up for not just for the primary, but for the general as well. And then all of the light blue thumb drives are DS300s, and all of the,
Hang on.
I'm sorry, I know what you're saying. I'm sorry, express votes, not, I mean, what they did was we set up to having not what I meant to say, we're set up to.
You haven't configured them yet because you don't know who's going to win the primaries. Okay, okay. We're
Yes,
together.
we have. So all of the light blue thumb drives go to the DS300s and all of the dark blue thumb drives go to the express votes. So it's a lot clearer for you. So if you know you have a dark blue one, it's an express vote. So we set that up that way. So
That's good.
I think that was, oh, I'm sorry, one other thing. These voters, the registered voters, some people like this to see this. So for May, we have 85,065 active voters. 5,336 inactive, for a total of 90,401 voters. With the new voters we have for May is 192, and the net new is 96. For deceased, we had for May and June, 122 people deceased for up to this, from all of
Right,
May
you don't
and
know
up
about
to
the
this
rest of
date.
June yet.
Exactly. And then for out of state, we have 27. We had no felonies, no non-citizen cancellations, no mentally incapacitated. Out of state other, we had 27.
Speaking of felonies, what about, what was the decision name?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Only certain felonies are now disqualified.
King
Yeah,
versus King, yes.
How is that affecting what you have to do?
It's, well, what we've done right now is we are not denying any felons right now. We're not denying any applications yet until we clearly read.
That's what the state
Yes,
has told
exactly.
you to do.
Yes, exactly. And so they've given us, but since then, they sent the list of the felonies that would lead to a denial. But we're not there just yet. We want to make sure we understand it clearly. We probably have a couple questions for our liaison about it before we start. We haven't denied any felons. We've left them there. They're just inactive. So we haven't denied anybody.
My understanding is that the state has offered little to no guidance on this so far.
I would say it's confusing guidance. It's a very long list of felonies, and the explanation is a bit confusing. Several registrars, there's a lot of talk among registrars about how to handle it and what it is. So it's a big conversation right now. But we have not denied any felons since we were told to.
on another division, the agreement that came down for registering college students, that doesn't affect us. I mean, we weren't party to that. We weren't,
We were not.
yeah, okay.
All right.
I still intend to go to the UVA post office. And I'd like to take our street file, say exactly what kind of address do you want? Because I think what they want is 355 Avenue, not 455 McCormick Road. And all, with all this range like it was. But I'd like to get straight from them. What on here do you want us to do? Or do you have your own street file that something like that? So my intention is to try to follow up on that because we did have some problems with provisionals from EA and special election.
Can I also mention, oh, I'm sorry.
I just didn't want to move too far forward.
Go ahead.
Two quick things. What is net new?
That's the, we had new, but it's the number. It's the,
What was
it's,
taken away from the new to make a net new? I mean, usually net means you had,
You subtracted something out.
right, you had this number and then subtracted something out. And I couldn't figure out what got subtracted out to make it net.
I'm gonna have to see it.
You know what I mean?
It's the
Like
exact same number. so
clearly we
it's-
added 192 and we subtracted, I mean, deceased does 122, but that doesn't make 96. So, we have subtracted a total of 149 minus 192. Is that, no? That
No, let me
number-
figure that out. I understand what you're saying.
Okay, yeah.
Why is the net in 96?
Couldn't figure out what got taken out. Yeah,
I got you. What's the
Thank you.
balance that makes it that?
thank you.
I
Yeah.
understand.
And then just, you all moved on to the college dorm, settlement, or consent decree. I know that the case itself, I was following it, and the case itself was not, Albemarle was not involved.
No.
Right.
I just want to make sure everybody was clear, like you said on
I
that.
just wonder if there were any decision issues that came out of that at a state
Yeah,
level that,
right.
They told the state to come up with some regulations, but the case itself had to do with registering voters, and as I know you all know. And I would just hope that by the time we're processing provisional ballots, hopefully you'll have some clarification on what with regard to same-day registration is impacted by this decision. So for instance, I know if what was happening is there were counties that were getting a student registration form that, for instance, didn't have a dorm number on it maybe. And that registrar said, I'm not going to register you to vote because of that. And so that's why the lawsuit got filed. All right, so we know we can't do that, but when you get the same day registration and the provisional ballots and those forms, if they don't have a dorm number, is it going to be handled similarly to a registration form? You know what I mean? It's kind of,
we'll see a better
It's
testament
similar process, but-
than we will in August.
hopefully you'll have clarification by then, right? I don't think it's going to be a big issue, August, but I would just hope that there be some specific, some clarification of, are we going to, I assume the rule will continue from registering voters to same day registration. It should be similar, but I don't think that the consent decree dealt with that specifically. So I just wanted to raise it that hopefully they'll give you some clarification on that, because my opinion is it should flow through. It's the same reasoning, but.
Plus, statewide, we should all be doing the same.
So
Right.
that's the whole reason the case came in, is
Yeah.
we weren't all doing it the same.
Thank you for bringing that. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sure. No, I just have a quick question. Okay, cancellations, the total 149, is that already pulled out of the total 90,000?
Yes, it is.
Thank
I do want to mention also, since mention the laws, thank you for saying that. There was a Department of Elections held a webinar a couple of weeks ago, and they went through all of it. I wanted to let people know that for the beginning, it's like the first 8 days or so of early voting will be under the current set of laws. And then on January 1st, we'll switch to
You
the
mean
new
July
set.
1st.
I'm sorry, July 1st, we'll be switching to the new set of. And then January 1st, we'll be switching to another new set of. So there's a lot going on there. So I could offer, I know Rick has already asked for it, the slides that the Department of Elections sent out, I could send those to whoever would like those. There's some pretty good, there's not a lot of explanation, but they do point to the law, and they do give you the deadlines and when the laws actually
We
apply.
do have the PowerPoint that Andrea prepared for
Yeah.
last time.
That'll be attached to the May 14th minutes when they're posted.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
I would
yes.
very much like the slides because I did have webinar. And we were going so fast through it, sometimes I couldn't even put the number of the bill before they were on to the next slide.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So if you're in for some good reading, it's there, certainly a lot of it.
I have a couple questions on those laws for Andrea.
I was just gonna say, for those of us who are working early voting, will we have guidance on what laws are here and what laws are there?
Yes.
Is it gonna be something, I mean, is it something that's definitely gonna affect?
Some of it does
Okay,
affect us, yes.
So we'll have that guidance from you guys.
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. Thank
One of the
you.
first things is the Sunday voting. You know,
Right,
So we
right.
have, that one, it affects all of us.
Starts after July 1, but
Exactly.
that's when it would have started
Exactly.
anyway, so.
And for, oh, go ahead.
My major question was the new law on guns. I don't think we addressed this at the last meeting. Does that one go into effect July 1?
Check.
This is the 100-foot limit
Yes.
for guns.
And here's the conundrum.
Ugh.
John drives his F-150 with the gun rack in the back up into the parking lot to park and get out and vote.
Drive-up voting.
And his car is parked 60 feet from the front of the building. There's no way we can police that. I mean, if he has a gun rack with a rifle on it in the back of his truck.
We're gonna be issuing laser distance measures.
Or drive-up voting.
Yeah,
Your exact same scenario, the drive-up voting and.
Fortunately, we don't see gun racks like we used to.
But, yeah,
But I just don't see that there's any way that we can do anything about enforcing the 100-foot rule.
But the other question that was outstanding is, will there be any signage or notice requirements that the state pushes down to us? And I don't think we've heard anything about that yet.
There wasn't a requirement, but that was part of the presentation I had done that we might want to consider.
Right. I'll wait until the state gives us,
Yeah.
because in some places, 100 feet won't still be on the same piece of property you're on.
We do have a new prohibitive poster. I haven't gotten it yet, but there is a new one. So maybe it's in.
By the time you're close enough to read the poster, you're definitely.
Right, you're too close. Absolutely. Couple of other things there.
Yes.
Out of the hot wash that we had, we talked about putting together a manual for early voting. So what that manual is going to look like, it's gonna be small. 2 people have already volunteered to help with that, which I think is terrific. And so we made it clear during the hot wash that we would not have it available. We would not have, the manual wouldn't be ready by early voting. There was just no way we could get it done. However, what we're gonna do is as many one-sheeters as we can. We'll do a one-sheeter about if somebody brings in an absentee ballot and what's the processes for that. That was what you guys talked about.
Or the
last time.
oath form.
The gold form, yeah, we're gonna do that. And the ones that are the bigger ones that are really clear, we were gonna really do those first, and then we're just gonna roll it out as early voting happens. The actual physical pages of it. And then what the hope is by the end of early voting, we actually do have a manual for that. Yes.
So will these be just sheets for things that are different for early voting versus
From
regular voting? Because we.
Precinct from election day voting, yeah.
Some, yes, but then some of them will be things that people have asked for. They've asked for, hey, I need clarification on this. Can you show us this? Can you show us that? So we're just gonna.
Can I ask that for the early voting orientation, one of the points you make is that bit about the tiny number of voters who don't have a primary, in case someone from Free Union shows up at early voting to vote, you know, everyone else gets a chance, but not those guys, because there is no primary for them if they've selected Democrat. So we need to be sensitized to that and not get confused or And it may not occur because it's so few people, but still, I'd rather be ready for the problem before it occurs.
Okay,
If
gotcha.
a voter shows up to vote and there is no primary for them to vote in. And obviously, the folks in Free Union, we will sensitize them to that before the election. All right. Any other questions for Janelle? The next thing is revisiting the officer of election half-day shifts idea. Jim, you were going to provide us with a report from Charlottesville, who are currently doing this.
Yes, I talked to the chief deputy registrar in Charlottesville at length about how they do shift election official work. First question was, do you make people come up with their own other half? And the answer was no, not at all. So people just sign up. He said, sometimes I have to move people over. He's also the one that does the assignment. Have to move people around because of an imbalance, you know, got too many afternoon people, not enough morning people, something like that. I said, what portion of your election officers do the shift work? Well, number one, chiefs, assistant chiefs, and specialists have to work all day. Otherwise, he said it's about 70-30. He thought 70% that do shift work. He said it varies greatly between precincts. There are some precincts where almost everybody does, except those that aren't allowed to. Everybody does the shift, and there are a precinct or two where everybody works full day. As far as the statement of results, yes. The people that work in the morning, they will sign the statement of results, and next to their signature, they will put left at 1 p.m. I think they do a 1 hour overlay there. And the people that didn't come until noon, next to their name, they will put began at noon. I know there is an opinion that that's not legal, but that's what they do.
So they're signing a blank statement of results, people who leave in the morning.
But they're putting that notation next to it as to when they left. Signifying, I believe they would say, okay, I saw everything up until 1 o'clock. I think everything up till 1 o'clock was okay. So that's the way they do it.
And did he or she venture any concerns about filling the slots?
Nope, didn't say anything about that. Problems with that.
And do you know what the motivation was for them to go to that?
I do not, because they went to it several years ago. I will mention I did like Rick's suggestion at our last meeting that maybe we do it as a pilot project in a couple of precincts.
See how it goes.
See how it goes.
At this point, my suggestion would be we just put a pin in this until we fill the election manager spot. Because there will be more to do associated with that, and I don't want to add to the flurry while that's in transition.
Can I ask one question too?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if they pulled from a pool of people that were former election officials that maybe just didn't work when they were all day anymore?
Didn't ask that specifically, but I imagine that's true.
But their impression was that it's a smooth system for them.
It works for them. As we have said before, you know, the smaller the locality, the kind of easier it is to do because you're dealing with fewer election officials. I don't know how many officials or slots they have altogether, but probably less than half of what we have. I think.
Oh yeah. Probably a third. Okay.
Question.
Yes, Rick.
Was there any concern that once this became available, you would have a very, very large number of people who had worked all day before? Say they want to now work only a part day and then you are short of election officer.
That's,
I think there's a certainty that that will happen to some extent. And then the question is, how do you backfill that?
that has always been the staff concern. The staff historically, when this has been brought up before, is not enthusiastic about it because it's, we've already got 500 people on our rosters, and now we're gonna have to add all these other people that.
Yeah, the number of folks you have to manage will increase significantly. You've got to train them all. So some of your fixed costs grow.
Did you mention the pay? Is it exactly half?
I didn't ask him. I guess.
All right, anything else on that? We didn't have anything under new business this time with the impending primary kind of soaking up most of our attention. Under other items though, Jim, I think you have at least one, maybe two things.
I have one thing for sure. And I'm wondering, Alex was on when we opened that up, but I don't think he was one of the names over on the side. I don't see him now. Alex, are you there?
Ask me to unmute Jim.
I don't see him. This is the list of all the participants, unless he's the Samsung.
Well, I was hoping he said he was.
I can text him.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Let's move forward.
Yeah.
I would like to present a resolution. Resolution of commendation and appreciation. It says, whereas the Albemarle County Electoral Board recognizes the dedicated public service of Alexander Branch, who has faithfully served the Albemarle County Office of Voter Registration and Elections with professionalism, integrity, and a steadfast commitment to the fair administration of elections. And whereas throughout his tenure, Alex Branch has consistently demonstrated a strong work ethic and exemplary support to voters, colleagues, and the community. And whereas Alex Branch has made significant contributions to the smooth operation of the Electoral Board, including preparations of all voting equipment and supplies and assignments of officers of elections to their precincts. And whereas the Electoral Board wishes to acknowledge and express gratitude for Alex Branch's service upon his departure to pursue a new professional opportunity. And whereas, while the board is saddened to see Alex Branch leave, it also recognizes and celebrates the advancement of Alex's career and the positive impact he will continue to make in his new role. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Albemarle County Electoral Board formally commends Alex Branch for his outstanding service and contributions to the administration of elections. Be it further resolved that the board extends its sincere appreciation and best wishes to Alex Branch for success as the General Registrar and Director of Elections for the city of Waynesboro. And be it finally resolved that this resolution is entered into the official minutes of the board and presented to Alex Branch as a lasting token of the board's gratitude. I so move.
Is there any discussion?
No.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Get a chance to affix our signature to this motion. Alex, as the sole continuing staff member from last year, really a lot of knowledge and functionality with him, and helped keep us going during a very difficult time. And we were sad to see him go, and Waynesboro gets the benefit of his expertise now. Jim?
Okay.
All right. Is there any other business? Did you have a question?
I do. When you ran through the new business, I was hoping you were gonna address the last item, follow up on the DS 300 with the logs repair.
I don't show that on my new business list. I
The
think
agenda I've got.
you have a June 11th agenda? Okay.
Do we have any, And let me just ask.
You want to give us a report on what happened with the, what did you?
You mean from?
You sent us a note after the last meeting and we had gotten 3 more loaner
Yes,
machines. And
yes, coming out of the meeting that we had, a couple of months, actually over a month ago now, they sent us 3 more loaners. So we have 6 loaners total. And, the machine that went down, out of Stone Robinson.
Are those 3 loaners replacements for the 3 that were broken or in addition?
3 were replacements for the one that was broken.
Hang on. For machines prior to this election, of the April 21st election, all of the machines that broke then were replaced. And they sent us 3 additional
That's
loaners.
my question.
And now we've gotten 3 more
more.
loaners. So we have a total of 6 loaners. And the only question was, did we get a replacement machine for the Stone Robinson
Correct.
machine?
Yes, and we'll check that today.
Yeah. So
And that's all at no charge to you.
Correct.
other than time and effort.
Right.
No charge.
Have they resolved why this happened not only in Albemarle, but in other places in Virginia?
Conveniently enough, at the last election, it was just us.
Yes.
Have they confirmed that?
And they confirmed that, and we were the only ones who've had more than one event. And
You feel special.
I feel like while they don't think there's a batch numbering problem, all of the machines we have came in a certain time frame. So I suspect there may be more of an issue there than not. Anyway, they figured out the software patch for this by simply, and they're continuing to test that because they have our machines now that will fail repeatedly. They've tried with new software and the test is real simple. Just try again. And then it works. So there's a small timing problem that the gets a hiccup in the timing and then it works. So they needed to test that exhaustively to make sure that was good. And then apparently the process for sending out a software update to DS300s is much more involved at the state level than sending out a hardware update. So that will not be available till next year sometime. Whereas if they were just patching a piece of hardware and sending out a new module, they could just send them out, plug them in, they'd be good to go. They'd be ready by November. Won't be the case. So that's where we are. That's what we know.
And I had one other question about election day. And I did not know this at the last meeting, so I couldn't ask. Was there a discrepancy at least one polling place between the number of voters that checked in on the poll pads and the number of ballots that were reported on the public ballot count? Is that an accurate?
But now you're asking me to remember off the top of my head, and the answer is I don't remember.
I think I remember one, but I don't
Yeah,
remember what precinct it
right.
was. Or exactly what
Was
the
that ever
the
thought
issue
to
was.
the investigation or resolution?
We didn't have any outstanding questions by the time we certified the election,
Right, that is true.
but I don't remember
The
those details
yeah.
now 2 months later.
Okay.
Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
Do you think
Oh.
there was a disputed something?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking the board. You know, people report things and you don't know whether they're accurate or not, or misunderstood or not, so my understanding was that at some point during the day, and I don't know whether, I think it was during the day, when numbers were reported, because they called to the registrar and report the poll pad numbers versus the public count numbers, and they were off by over 100. I can understand 1 or 2.
Oh, no.
No, I don't recall anything like that.
That's why I'm asking.
Where'd you get that information?
Just a report from someone who was in the precinct.
There you go. Oh, yeah, okay, so.
We
No,
were
that
not
was-
aware
That did
of
not happen.
anything like that.
I think the one that I think it was there was off by 1.
Yeah, that's what I was
I
thinking.
was wondering early voting that there was a off by 1 and then it got resolved.
Yes,
Yes,
that's
that
true.
There was 1 and they, you were there observing, but that was 1 and it got, I know that one got
Like hide
resolved.
one under a piece of paper.
It was testing them. I
Yeah,
wanted to
figured.
see it.
But you brought that up, Claire.
But the reason I ask is that in another locality, they were off by 153.
No, if we'd been off by 100, I'd remember that.
I'm
right.
going, I am
Right.
asking.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought it up, that
we'd have talked to
That
a
was-
lot of officers of election.
Right,
and
exactly, yeah.
It would be in the minutes.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
If that was being spoken of somewhere, I'm glad you brought it up to the board, yeah, but. So we could clear it up.
Our next meeting is scheduled for July the 9th. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for July the 9th. I don't see any reason to call a meeting before that. And with that said, I think the next thing we do is we'll go into an executive session.
Can we just
Close meeting unless you have something.
What are
else
we gonna
to say.
start tomorrow?
Oh, it's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Yeah,
8
8
a.m.
o'clock. It's an 8 a.m. start.
You do one 8 AM.
Yes.
I'll try to be.
Ours is not to question why.
As far as the chairman, also one of the questions about scheduling, and you juggled it here. When is LNA testing for the poll pads and for the BS300s and for the in-person absentee and the regular? You've got several types of LNA testing. Is that scheduled then?
We have testing for early voting equipment scheduled for tomorrow, the express votes and the DS300s.
Okay.
And for the precinct machines, I don't remember off the top of my head what the date is.
It is July 24th.
Yeah, 24th.
24th.
Right.
And what about the polls?
Poll pads we do configuration testing for. And I don't know when that's scheduled for the general election.
Can we do it on the same day? Should we do it separately?
You need to do it separately.
Yeah, I thought we got that.
We'll do the final configuration testing for the poll pads on the Sunday before the election.
Yeah, that's listed.
Thank God we don't have Sunday voting on that Sunday.
That's listed. Okay, so the configuration for it. Okay, I got it. I'll have that.
You're adding that to the 24th?
No, it needs to be a different day.
Oh, different.
I'm gonna look at it as a 20th.
I can't be there.
Okay.
I mean, really anything to do there.
Yes.
These machines are going to be running the same operating system and the
Yeah.
same version of the software. So there is no pre-configuration that needs to be done other than downloading the data to them for
Right.
this election.
Right.
So we'll do that on the Sunday before the election.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you what time we'll do that, but it'll be unpleasantly early, I'm sure.
And when will you be doing the poll pad? They've got to be rolling pre-processing.
We need to do configuration testing for the poll pads for early voting as well as for CAP.
Yep.
And I don't know when that's going to be scheduled. Registrar will have to tell us.
You need the testing tomorrow.
We get testing tomorrow. We'll test the express votes and the DS300s.
Oh, yeah,
We
but
can look at the configuration of the poll pads then. Why not? Nice long
that's
day.
Right.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
okay.
And then we'll have to do the same thing again before we fire up CAP
Yes.
for the equipment that's going to them. I would imagine you're not expecting to kick off the CAP until later in the process.
Right, the earliest would be the 15th of July.
Okay, anything else? I thank everyone for coming and participating, and we'll be going into executive session. Do we have any new EOs to consider?
Yes.
Okay, so we're likely to have one piece of business when we come out, and that's to approve new EOs, but otherwise we don't anticipate any other business to be conducted after the closed part of the meeting. Thank you all very much. If those on the call would drop off, we're going to take about a 10-minute break here in the room.
Sorry, just to cut it off.
Ring bags, then, and, you had to know, organization out there. Expressions, and then I got the.
Just a weird one. I had your name. I always.
Every day. Sick with sick.
I just want to make sure.
It's
Just like names are really important. Make sure I'm not.
So sorry.
Yeah.
When the phone.
Reminds me, I need to quiet mine.
You're not.
And I got.
Just to be sure.
Oh, brilliant.
And I do a lot of early voting.
Amber Baker.
My assistant. Yes.
They Canada, New York.
You go by Rick?
Richard.
I'm Pete.
Mike.
Mike, yeah.
Okay. Good to hear. Good to know.
Shortly,
no scout names.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And not.
Dying somewhere.
That's home.
Okay, so
It is a
that's so much better than trying to, now you gotta bring the party back and
Yeah.
everything.
Drinking from the
Yes, sir.
If I died.
Yes, sir, jumping right in.
You know,
Looks good.
very good to be. Eat your shop.
Based on historic.
My poison them, but that's going to see.
Oh my God.
Have that.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna be twiddling our thumbs. Primary like this.
Yes.
I
Well, you know,
haven't seen any,
Anybody else?
I haven't seen any signs.
Appreciate it.
Any
And I agree with you.
I think know a lot of people probably don't even know it's gonna be a
that's
process.
exactly.
I
know that also as a result, especially like.
Well, I hate you. I put your name, I hate your name directly. They won't.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
we, I mean, you're right, I have.
It's the receipt.
Right. Because I would just say that because I've been early, I've worked early that kind of
Yes.
for years.
Right.
Particular.
Sometimes
the person said for weeks, 10 voters all day, 20 voters.
I understand.
Please bring something.
I understand. Obviously, I'm also grateful.
Yeah, right, I agree with you.
So that I can get strong. Going into November.
Yeah.
You know, in a way.
You'll have plenty of help.
Yes, sir, I believe that.
If you know that it's a
Drop
person.
out, you'll still have.
It's some kind of way to get back to the person.
Exactly,
Especially
yeah.
with then back over there, one of the problems, the reason we had to have two
The training for
curbside people is because you
People who
couldn't
do-
see
Yeah.
curbside.
there's a
Never
training.
had two curbside.
Oh, yes, there is. I've done that before. Yeah.
See so well.
And then there's a
Sir.
limit.
My number one consideration for that, especially this summer, is going to be staying,
That's right.
staying hydrated.
My name's not
Staying,
on that
is our
list.
sugar is doing all right, you know, that's my number one concern, is safety of everybody who's working the elections right now.
Did it expire?
It'll be hot.
Yes, sir, it will.
It's not July 1 yet.
Oh, I see.
And I went to look and I thought, where's my name? It should stay there until July 1. You know?
Now, that's on the Department of Elections website.
Yes.
Yeah, they control that, but I know exactly the training you're talking about because I've been through that before a couple of
Okay.
times.
So how do I make sure that list is accurate all the way through June 30th of each year?
Does it have a contact?
No, I didn't see one.
Oh, that's gonna be hard.
Okay,
That
I'm just
part-
throwing that out.
That part I don't know.
Because it's gonna change, because the training is required
Yeah.
July 1.
It is.
But when I went and looked and
You
it's
should have
like,
took that
my name is-
thing.
so if I register somebody to vote and they go look at the list, it's like,
It's-
I don't
You're
know
not
this.
there. Oh, that's what you're saying.
One is testing.
I'm not sure. When you finish the training, is there not a contact person there for the in their training material?
I don't know, I've been training for this year. That's a year ago.
I
I don't
would-
remember.
I would check. and
I'm not
see.
sure.
I know it was Gary Ellison, but I
Yes,
don't know if he was still the one, the video.
Because I haven't seen any invitations.
Yeah, so I know, because he was the one. on
You know, I don't know the answer.
That's a good point.
Well,
When I
if
do
we
the
have-
training, I'll see
See
if
who
there's
that
a
is.
contact
There
person
usually
and then deal with that.
Yeah.
None of the candidates are sponsored
Thank
by
you.
the party,
No.
so.
I need to print new envelopes. An
We're
envelope.
not planning.
There's a message coming up. Can you try to do it?
That's why I.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not planning.
Excuse me.
Yes,
I'm.
let me go print them.
Don't do it.
To your face and your hand.
Can you call me?
Well, I just want to apologize.
This happens naturally if I.
It's okay, come on, can you walk me
Yeah,
over?
I'm just gonna have to insert.
So you just wanna leave those right there? Yeah.
Just.
I'm gonna email me and let me email you.
For your finger, you know, one finger gets stuck. in the-
Sure, no problem. Thank you.
It pops open, but doesn't move smoothly.
Yeah. No idea, thank
Yeah,
God.
it actually happens more frequently you can win than that does come in.
Yeah.
And anyway.
So
it's a
this
simple
follows
Thursday.
that.
Not really. I used to like doing the Santa thing at Christmas time, and my wife told me a couple of years ago.
We have not, I mean, Andrea, it's nice to meet you.
Well, I just thought it was hot. Now.
You're absolutely right.
Tuesday after my.
Also.
Gotcha,
It's
okay.
gonna be hard to shave.
Dave got it.
In New Orleans, we always had
Yeah.
Christmas in July.
Yeah.
Special thing for charities. We go and get-
I believe it.
Preparing for Christmas, July.
There's money in the Santa. Theory. They had
You
to
learned a lot. He's.
I continue to
Very
learn.
calm.
I do appreciate
You need that.
that PowerPoint that you.
Oh, good, I'm glad, I'm
So
glad.
right now, I'm actually reading through the election law. I only do about 40 to 50 pages a day.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good read.
Yes.
Have you seen my slide set on that? I try to give you the Cliff's Notes version.
No.
I gotta redo that when they reprint the edition. There's online on our website where we've got if you want to be an election official, there's training there. If you go to the training for assistant chiefs, the second section is on election law, and it's like some odd slides that talk about election law that pertain to running an election. Have nothing to do with registration and all the other stuff that registrars do.
Right.
Everything that has to do with running election day stuff, I tried to call out and put there.
That's fantastic. I'll check. it out.
Before the big snowstorm that we had this year, I just started with the county in June of last year, so I've just had my 1 year anniversary, but the big snowstorm, I like printed off a bunch of the chapters from the registrar's manuals. I knew I was gonna be stuck at home.
Yeah. I
I
believe it.
didn't mind getting through as much of it as I had hoped, but it's okay.
It's a good thing to help go to sleep with.
I will say this though, it is and like if I have a question, it's pretty,
The GREB manual?
yeah.
I think it's not a bad job.
I mean, it's not the most riveting read
No,
ever,
but
but like the
it's-
law is not generally, so.
And there's some expository material that is in the law that we have to follow, because if it's promulgated by the state board of
Correct.
elections, we're equally obligated to follow those rules. So it's a good starting place if you can find it. Its organization is sometimes not obvious.
Yeah.
And the indexing, they only make available. You can't download the whole thing, including the cover, the table of contents, and an index. And if you could, it would be a much more useful single document to have online.
Yeah,
You got to look at one chapter at a time. It's pain.
so Richard, where were you before county?
Hazy Mountain Winery.
Okay,
I was running their distribution and
nice,
wine membership
yeah,
program. Before that, I was with Castle Hill Gaming as a chief of staff. Before that, I was at McMillan.
okay,
And before that, military.
all right.
So
What branch are you?
Air Force.
I moved up here from Hampton Roads, so a lot of Navy folks.
Yes, the sound of freedom is your.
That's exactly
My
right.
My parents lived, I grew up in that area too. My parents lived not very far from the Fentress airfield that's down there.
Oh, gosh.
And yeah, they fly low and you always kind of knew when something was coming because it would be like the tests would really pick up and there'd be a lot of like night testing and
Yep.
it would be like then 3 weeks later it'd be like, oh.
I was down in Virginia Beach on May 29th because I was closing on my dad's house, selling it. And as I came across the Hampton Roads Tunnel, there were 3 carriers in port. And sure enough, there were people flying all day long because you got all those aviators.
Mhm.
We're at the end of the month, they got to get their hours in.
Yeah.
It's hard to hear sometimes.
Every base I was stationed at was a fighter base. And so I was tucked away. My very first duty station was Spangdahlem, Germany, which is a very rural area. And the Germans were not too keen on those late night flights.
Oh, I can imagine not.
But they were even less excited when we started drawing down and closing those bases, and that benefit to the economy
Yeah.
went away.
Yeah. I was in the Bitburg side of the house, closing down that side of our base. Because we have
Ein bit?
Bitte ein Bit. Bitte ein Bit.
More ads of that than any other alcohol I've ever seen.
I was floored when I went to Cardinal Hall and I saw that they had that on tap. And I was, because I had it over there and I don't think that's a good beer. Personally, I just
No,
think
it's not.
it is kick in the mouth. And so when I saw it, I was like, does anyone actually drink this? Like, yes, a lot of older folks really enjoy Bitburg. Okay.
As you get older, your taste senses dull, some of them do, and a more robust flavor might be better. I'm not a Bitburger fan, but I have fallen into the it's the motor oil.
Motor oil.
Yes. Irish beer.
Guinness?
Guinness, yes.
Oh.
Ah.
I will say though, Guinness in Ireland is lovely.
Yes, it is.
When you're in Ireland, it is.
What's this about Ireland? I love Ireland.
I do too. The Guinness there is delicious.
Did you go to the museum of the band? It was awesome.
When I was there, I was there a long time. The Jameson factory was closed. We didn't get to observe that one.
Oh, we toured that one too. That was awesome. Right.
Friends of mine, they went there on their honeymoon and they did both of them on the same day, and my friend does not remember much.
I love Europe. I would love to move.
I do too.
And just live there, 3 months out of the year. We have relatives in northern Italy.
Ask a quick question.
All it takes is money.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
We have relatives in northern Italy and it's pretty, it's not, northern Italy is not reasonable. Southern Italy is, but it's just nice.
It's so
We love to go visit them and everyone in the village looks exactly. It's really funny.
Your people came from there.
Well, but half of my DNA is from this little village of 700 people. So when we went there for the first time, we were just, oh my gosh, there's my brother. I mean, they look like us. It's really interesting.
It's funny. It was remarkable to me living in Europe for just 1 year.
Yeah.
The number of people I met who were multilingual and who, were traveled the world, and the number of people I met who'd never been more than 2 hours from their house.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Especially in England.
In
I
England.
found that fascinating. I spent my first 6 months in Macmillan at their sister company in Basingstoke. And it was fascinating. Like I would say, oh, I'm getting on the train and I'm going to Southampton, which is like a 2-hour train ride. What? It's so far away. And I'm like, you have no concept of what far is. If you think a 2-hour train ride is far.
I was leaving Mannheim at the end of the workday, and I was going to drive up to Kiel, where my family was visiting some friends. And people were looking at me, they can't have them tonight. 2.5 hours, it's not a big deal.
I thought you worked in Norway.
No, my wife had a exchange student live in her house who was from Norway when she was in high school. That's an overdue connection. Okay, so first order of business is looking at, first order of business is the closed meeting motion. Let me, I guess we've been recording this whole time. We'll continue recording. I move that the Albemarle County Electoral Board convene a closed meeting pursuant to section 2.2-3711A of the Code of Virginia under subsection 1 to discuss and consider applications of prospective candidates as officers of election, and 2 to discuss the annual performance review of the registrar. And for the second part, it'll be only the board members present under 24.2-109.1. Is there all in favor? Say aye.
Second.
Aye. Any opposed? No. So we are in a closed meeting. I'm going to